You're listening to The Awareness Angle, cutting through the cyber noise to bring you the stuff that actually matters. Scams, screw-ups, and stories worth knowing. These are our views, not our employers. Any opinions are our own. I'm Matt Davis, and as always, joining me tonight is Luke Pettigrew. Hello, Luke.
Hey, Ant. Hey, everyone. How are we doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks.
Good. I got a little bit of a cold, so my voice is a little bit different. So if I'm booming through your speakers, that's because I've had this cold for like 4 days, and who gets a cold in July? It's ridiculous. Yeah, and it's also this. If you watch on YouTube, this is the last time this will look like this, probably, because next week I'm recording from a different location. The week after that, I'll be recording from the SAN Summit in Chicago, and then fingers crossed, I'll be moving house. So I'll be minus a studio for a little while. So this will be the last time it looks like this. So it's a little bit emotional for me because this is a finely curated background. So we'll see.
No, it's exciting to see what you do with the next one. Or is it just going to be plain white wall?
It'll be plain for a little while, I'm sure, while I find out where I can call home. So yes. Right. We've got so much to get through tonight. Before we start, subscribe to our newsletter if you haven't already. Get yourself to riskycreative.com, and there you can sign up to the newsletter. You can also find it on LinkedIn if you search for The Awareness Angle. The newsletter gives you everything we discuss in every episode, just a bit more of a considered response. And links to everything we discuss is in the newsletter. Get it in your inbox or in your LinkedIn in tray every Monday morning. On top of that, please subscribe to us on YouTube. We're chasing 1,000 subscribers. We're currently on 440, I think. So we need more subscribers on YouTube. If you want to know when every single new video drops, including clips of each episode and shorts, subscribe to us on YouTube. Just search Risky Creative on YouTube. You can probably search the Awareness Angle as well, and it'll probably come up. You can also find me on TikTok and Instagram. We post stuff on there. And last Thursday, the episode before this one, was our interview with Harley Sugarman from Anagram Security. Really, really cool conversation about doing awareness training differently. Harley is from Anagram Security, formerly Ask Enigma. Really, really cool chat with him about thinking outside the box and doing things a bit different. And it's Harley's got a unique origin story as well. His journey to cyber is possibly the most unique one I've heard yet. So,
and
it's cool.
It's a cool one, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Let's get on with the news.
Yeah, cool.
Right. First one's the first 6, we'll whiz through them quite quickly because they all talk about the same topic. But if you're in the UK, this has dominated cyber and privacy for the last week. So we're talking about, obviously, the Online Safety Act.
Yeah.
UK government have brought in. So, Luke, you kick off.
Well, you're going to kick off this one.
Oh, no. So, VPN, I told you I had a cold. Yeah. It's frazzling my throat. Obviously, the Online Safety Act has come in force in the UK, and now you need age verification to access any sensitive, not safe for work, adult-related content on any websites it's meant to be. So Reddit, porn sites, the works, Twitter even, I've seen as well. Mm-hmm. So it's no coincidence that this week VPN apps have surged to the top of the UK App Store. Platforms like YouTube, Reddit, X have all brought this in, and now people are using VPNs to change their location to try and avoid submitting facial recognition or ID to register. The problem with this, of course, is that free VPNs aren't always safe. There's lots of VPNs out there that perhaps aren't as safe as VPNs should be. I use a trusted VPN, or at least I think it's trusted. I use Surfshark. This is a sponsored slot, but other VPNs are available. Although I did see something this week about ExpressVPN exposed a load of RDP connections. So be careful what you choose. But yeah, VPNs are there. People are getting around the age verification.
Yeah. We go into it a bit later in the episode, I think, around that. But Yeah, no, definitely be careful with the free versions of VPNs. I'm sure in the terms and conditions there's lots of bad stuff in there.
Yes,
collecting your data, and you probably are not that anonymous when using it.
Use a trusted name. If you have to pay for something, pay for something. But use a name you've heard of. Nord, Surfshark, Express. Find a well-respected YouTuber and choose the one that's sponsoring them. They get a deal from that, probably.
Yeah. Cool. Probably.
Next, jump on to the next one.
Yeah. So this is a continuation of how Labour have ruled out banning VPNs, but have issued warnings to UK households. So, yeah, they've confirmed that they won't ban them, following speculation around it. I think as around the Online Safety Act, maybe there's something in there that people thought may allude to more happening in terms of banning VPNs.
This news story's changed from the same link. They've updated the news story. So when this news story, this is in Birmingham Live, right? So it's not even in. I searched for other sources, and this was like the most reputable source at the time. But it was like, Labour wants to ban VPNs completely following the Online Safety Act. But that was one, I think it was one backbencher MP that supported it, was saying this is what we should do now if people are using these to get around it.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. So I think the main thing here is around, they've warned about promoting or signposting to VPNs. Maybe we should be careful with what we've just said then.
Yes. So I suppose what they're saying is, if a service that hosts not safe for work content is directing users to use a VPN as opposed to registering. Okay, I get that. Yeah, you should register. You definitely should register. Absolutely, and not use a VPN to avoid restrictions.
Don't do that. But yeah, so obviously, still legal to use a VPN, but there's a lot of bit up in the air around that usage. I mean, obviously, as we've discussed, everybody's who wants to access these sites are just using a VPN. There's no surprises there.
I think I think the Online Safety Act, whilst the intentions were good, perhaps it wasn't fully considered, and perhaps like they've brought all this in and people can just use a VPN. Like, did no one sitting at a table go, guys, can just use a VPN to get around it? What are you going to do then? And they're like, people won't use a VPN, it's fine. Similar to the conversation we had last week.
Yeah. So I think for a sort of a awareness business perspective, I guess there might be a surge in people using VPNs at work. Not the official business approved one.
I think if you're an awareness professional, advise people around the safe usage of VPNs. And I don't know, small businesses would be different, but I don't know large organizations that would be happy for a user to install a VPN in their browser or on the computer that's in addition to whatever they're using at a corporate level. So, I suppose you might now see a surge in third-party VPN usage on corporate devices, which you probably want to do some awareness on about it not being allowed, because people might just assume they can. Nothing stopped me installing it, therefore it must be okay.
Yeah. We can move on to the next bit.
So the next one was a story in the tab, and it was all the unhinged loopholes people are using to get past the Online Safety Act. So using a VPN was one of them. So it says VPN groups sees demand rise 1,800%. But we've seen stories where people are using Death Stranding, the video game. They're using Norman Reedus' face in the game, because you can pose his face differently. So on some of the checks, it's like open your mouth, close your mouth. They can instruct him to do that. Others are using characters from The Sims, which is mad. Like, it's considering it's trying to stop bad things happening, it's not doing a very good job of it.
No.
So you can see here, this video I'm showing here, which is embedded from TikTok, it's literally just using a model from The Sims, moving it round and round. The guy's eyes are all over the place. How does that even look like a real human being?
Yeah, these aren't the best at detecting if it's a real person, which you think would be a minimum requirement for such a tool.
Yeah. Ofcom released a statement. So BBC Radio 4 had a post on X. It looks like pornography websites now require age verification under new regulations. Dame Melanie Dawes, Chief Executive of Ofcom, tells Radio 4 today how these new measures will be enforced and what happens if sites do not comply. And then Ofcom responded and said, from today, platforms that allow porn and harmful content must use age checks. Major tech platforms have already committed to introducing these. Companies that fail can expect enforcement action. It's going to be interesting to see how well that is enforced, because it's obviously going to be quite difficult. There's so many. I saw that they've brought actions against a number of different companies just today. One part of this that I hadn't considered was Spotify as well.
Yeah.
So Spotify's age verification on Spotify, which I gather is for it must be for music that's explicit lyrics, I suppose.
Yeah, that probably audiobooks. Might be some
audio. Spotify said its platform is designed for users as young as 13, but includes songs and music videos intended for mature listeners. So they will delete accounts that fail age verification. God, I'd be devoted if they deleted my Spotify account. It's got like it's got like 10 years of playlist history in there and stuff. Can't even imagine. Yeah, my algorithm's changed a bit. Having kids does that to you, you know. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse was my top listened to track a few years back. It's only a minute long, but that's what 2-hour drive listening to it on repeat will do for you. Yeah, that's mad. The last thing we want to do on the Online Safety Act, because this isn't an Online Safety Act special, I just wanted to show you this video that I saw on Instagram that I thought was quite funny. And this is British VPN users right now.
I'm in the abandoned city of Pripyat.
I'm inside one of the ancient down oil tanks.
I'm off to the Arctic for 3 weeks. I am not inside a fusion reactor. I'm in Hull. I am at Disney World. I'm in an airplane bathroom.
He's anywhere but sat at his computer, basically, to get around the Online Safety Act.
Yeah.
So.
I saw that one the other day. That was great. Just a couple of things. I mean, we mentioned it in the last episode around, obviously companies can be fined if they don't adhere, which is obviously why they've all implemented these shoddy controls.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously the huge fines of 18 million or 18 million pounds or 10% of their worldwide revenue, whichever's greater.
Bigger than a data breach. There's just, I'm sure we said that last time. The fines are larger than what the ICO put on you for breaching all of your individual's data. Doesn't add up to me. That feels like it's the wrong way round. Sorry, Carol.
Yeah, no, yeah. The other thing I was going to mention was there was a story we had of how now 5 EU countries are going to trial it, or a similar mechanism. Denmark, Greece, Spain, France, and Italy. Hopefully they use a better verification system than what most companies have used so far, which is might as well not be there. But obviously they're only doing it to avoid the fines.
Do you know one thing we didn't touch on last week, because I think news broke just after we'd recorded, was the T app. That we won't go into it in detail today because it happened. It's old news now. But T was a site where women could discuss men they date and raise the red flags on them. So if you were a bit of a dodgy bloke that had a prolific dating history, you probably were on T. And the women, if you approached a woman, she could look you up on T and see if you had any red flags. Well, that got compromised, that got breached, and the data leaked. And one of the things I read from that was they had ID verification like this, like women that signed up had to verify their ID.
Yeah.
And that data was left exposed, unprotected. And it only affected like the early adopters of the app, but they said they would delete all selfies and delete those details. And the early ones, they didn't. They kept them in a unprotected cloud storage.
That's crazy. Makes you wonder what happened with this. I'm sure some of these solutions probably aren't as mature as they should be. I'm surprised that the government didn't just make their own and make everybody use that for their UK sites rather than having all these random third parties, because none of them seem consistent.
I think a lot of the problems is that a lot of these probably aren't using third parties. They're probably using homespun systems. And because third parties will probably be charging them through the nose for it, because they're like, brilliant, everyone's going to need to use us. And they're like, I'm not paying, we'll make our own. How difficult can it be?
Yeah.
And then you get into a problem. Like, so how good does it have to be to meet the legislation? I suppose that would be the question.
Enough to think that a video game character is a real person, it seems.
Yeah.
Or
Of course.
I saw Joe Tidy, the BBC reporter.
Yeah.
He talked about there's a website someone made where you can generate a driver's license. I think it was off like of your local MP or something, and use that instead.
Yeah.
But probably don't do that because it's probably classed as fraud or something. Identity theft and stuff. But yeah, that's crazy. I'm sure we'll hear more about it in the future.
Yeah. Moving on to the next story and away from the Online Safety Act slightly, but still similar. YouTube is bringing in new age verification, and they're using AI. So they'll do age verification based on viewing habits. So if you're a guy that likes watching a lot of Peppa Pig, or you're a girl that likes watching a lot of Barbie, you might find that your AI, that your YouTube is suddenly like de-aged, because it's rolling out basically an AI-powered system to estimate whether or not a user is over 18. So it will look at watch history, search habits, and the age of your account, regardless of the birth date you entered. So if the AI gets it wrong, the burden is on users to then prove their age using credit card, government ID, or selfie. And they're rolling this out in the US first. They're testing it in the US, and then the expansion will likely follow. So it'll be interesting to see. That's like, maybe that's Google using AI well, if it does it well.
Yeah,
Maybe. So
we'll see.
I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah. I'll move to the next story, I guess. So this one's from the BBC of how Google are launching a new AI search feature in the UK. And it will generate results using AI, which has been said to be a significant shake-up to the world's most popular search engine. So instead of listing results with links to other websites, if you choose an AI mode, you'll get an answer written in a conversational style, showing you far fewer links. So I guess it's sort of similar to the AI summary in a way, which we've seen has often got it wrong as well. So it'd be interesting to see what this does. But yeah, it's not going to replace it's like optional feature. It's supposed to be like more natural, especially when it comes to if you're asking Google for a complex question. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird thing potentially for you're so used to normal search results. Everybody's used to how that looks. And we've seen how sponsored ads have been used for malicious purposes. I'm sure it won't be long before this gets cracked with something.
If we go back to like episode 4 or 6, Encanto 2, we talked about in a really early episode where if you Googled Encanto 2, it told you it came out like a couple of years ago. Whereas it didn't. Obviously, it's never been made. It's updated now. So maybe we made a difference. But on Disney, on Disney Fanon, it said it basically came out last year, and the AI overview in Google picked that up.
Yeah.
AI is only as good as the data you feed it, right? So if there's a misinformation campaign or like, people trying to push stuff out, AI can't be trusted.
Yeah.
It is interesting though. It goes to show, like Google search. When was the last time Google search changed significantly?
God, yeah. Don't know.
Never.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, like I've been working. I was selling SEO like 15 years ago, and it didn't look much different to what it does now. So yeah.
That's the other thing that this story mentions of how it's obviously quite a user-focused thing, and it's going to affect businesses with their conversions and click-through rates, and revenue loss is probably going to occur. And obviously there's environmental issues maybe around the amount of AI that's going to be used.
You've pulled the environmental card with AI. That's a popular one. The amount of energy
everything's
used for each AI query.
Yeah, everything's AI these days.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It is interesting though, because Google ad revenue, and there's a whole industry of SEO experts that are going to have to pivot and shift. And this has been coming for a long time because more and more people will conversate with their AI of choice to find results, opinions, and more. So it's, I think Google are probably looking at the stats and going, search is dwindling, AI usage is increasing. Let's bring the AI to the search, maybe.
Yeah. I think it's out now. Well, maybe not just yet actually, but it's out in the US and India. But I think it's coming to the UK very soon, and if it's not already. Yeah.
Interesting. Right. Moving on to the next one. It's potentially a little bit not safe for work, but we won't get lost in the details. Lovense, which is a intimate toy. Let's just go with that. Their app had a flaw which has leaked a load of private user email addresses. So Lovense is a popular personal intimate toy that's used by millions worldwide, apparently, including cam models. And they've had a serious privacy flaw. The bug allowed attackers to find users' private email addresses just by knowing their public usernames. Wow. Because many users share their Lovense usernames online, probably on cam model sites. This puts the risk of them being doxxed or harassed. That becomes a problem. Another flaw, let them take over their accounts without needing passwords. Lovense fixed these issues, but they took months to fully resolve the email leak because of concerns about older app versions. Usability versus security. The company says that there's no evidence that anyone's data was misused. So that's one of those where you really need, like, cam models, I would imagine, can have it would be really stereotypical to assume that some of their fans could be a bit obsessive over them. So doxing, I think, would be a real worry if you were in that industry. I suppose careful putting yourself out there. There's not really... if anyone listening is affected by that, you might want to change your username, change your password.
Yeah, get a new email address, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do much about once it's out there.
No, or just brace for impact. You're about to receive a lot of information from a lot of people.
Yeah.
So potentially, although Lovense said that there was no impact. So
yeah.
Next one's yours, sir.
Yeah, so next story, talking about Copilot again. Microsoft Edge is now an AI browser with the launch of Copilot Mode. This is a TechCrunch news story, and it says here, with demand for an AI-powered browser on the rise, Microsoft on Monday launched a new feature in Edge browser called Copilot Mode, and that allows you to browse the web whilst being assisted by AI. I'm not sure anybody really wanted that, to be honest.
I've been waiting for that.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord, it's here. It's so good.
So it's supposed to be around helping users understand what they're searching and predict what they want to do and take action on their behalf, which that sounds a bit crazy. To start buying things or signing you up to stuff. Yeah.
We thought you wanted a new Lovense.
Yeah. So yeah, it's still an experimental feature, is what they've said. Opt-in as well. But it is currently free for any Mac or PC user who has access to Copilot. But yeah, I think it's a bit of an interesting one here. I think it says it can integrate chat and voice input as well. So I guess, again, there's maybe some accessibility benefits there, but it's a bit of a strange feature, to be honest. Yeah, because it's privacy concerns as well. But we know Copilot Vision and recall, so
they don't care about privacy. We'll come to the comment. Remind me to do a comment section this week, because I had some interesting comments around Copilot Vision and stuff like that on Instagram and TikTok this week. So we'll come to the comments section when we get through the news, which is interesting on this. I think we all have to admit AI is coming. AI is going to be in everything we do. Microsoft are gunning for it. Google are gunning for it. And if they are, everyone else will be. And at some point, we just have to put our hands up and go, look, it's here, it's out there. But there's privacy concerns. There's concerns around intellectual property. There's concerns around how accurate it is. I mean, how accurate is a Google search? You could argue anyone can build a website and post it. So I think the messages around this are verify, verify, verify. And if you're in a business, get those controls in place. And I've been slated on TikTok. People have said I don't know what I'm talking about. And quite often I don't, because I've said stuff like Macs are harder to manage than Windows. The thing is, in organizations, they can be. These controls, like some people are sat in some businesses and they're like, I just enabled it. I put that control. I did this group policy. But we both have worked in organizations where it's not always that simple to make these changes, to get people to agree to it. And, these wheels move very slowly in some organizations. So this tech is moving faster than the controls we can put in place. It's quite simple. So we need to tell people to really consider how they're using these things. Like in a business, this doesn't sound like a great idea. The functionality might help, but it doesn't sound like a great idea for privacy.
No. So, yeah.
Right. Let's, next up in the news section, we'll whiz through these. There's been a stack of breaches, cyber attacks this week that, we probably should talk about, but we won't go into detail. So the first one that happened a few days ago, Allianz Life have said that the majority of their customers' personal data has been stolen in a cyber attack. So they stole the personal data of most of their US customers, which includes social security numbers and financial info. And this breach, my notes say it came through a third-party vendor, which is not really a shock in this day and age, is it?
No.
Cloud-based CRM. There we go. Threat actor was able to obtain personally identifiable data on their customers, financial professionals, select Allianz Life employees, including using a social engineering technique. So, third-party access, of course, is a risk. When did it say? The insurance giant would not say if it had received any communication from the hackers, such as a ransom note. Company would also not attribute the breach to a hacking group. I saw something actually, and I don't think I've put it in the story notes this week, but there was a report about Scattered Spider, and it basically said that since the arrests a few weeks ago in the UK, that they'd seen Scattered Spider's activities has apparently gone.
Wow. Yeah.
But other attacking groups, other cyber actors out there are just following their pattern now. So attacks like this that you probably go, Scattered Spider. Actually now could be other groups. We spoke last week about shiny hunters. Other groups have seen the success Scattered Spider have and are deploying the same tactics. So, and probably because it's harder to pin on one specific group then.
Yeah.
That's if you're an Allianz Life customer in the US, sorry, but your data's likely been compromised. Detection took weeks on that one as well. So the response wasn't very quick, apparently.
Yeah. Move on to the next one then. Another cyber attack. So this one is Minnesota in America has suffered a major ransomware attack.
St. Paul in Minnesota.
Okay, yeah.
Which is a town.
Sorry, yeah.
Not Minnesota, the whole state, but St. Paul in Minnesota.
Last Friday, they suffered a significant attack, and it was so bad that they had to declare a state of emergency, and and the governor activated National Guard to assist, and that's because it took down a lot of their critical services. So they're just how they run the town, I guess, really got impacted by it. And they say remarks by the mayor has said that they believe it's a deliberate, coordinated attack carried out by a sophisticated external actor, intentionally targeting the city's information infrastructure. And they had trouble stopping the attack over the weekend, and initiated a full shutdown of their systems as a defensive measure to contain the threat. And that took down a lot of their systems, their Wi-Fi, even things like checking out library books, apparently. So there's a huge impact to their operation in their city. And it says about how FBI and 2 national cybersecurity firms have also been brought in to help mitigate the attack. But hasn't been enough. And so, they've now got National Guard to assist the city. So I think it just shows how, vulnerable cities are with these sort of things, and how it can have real world impacts, not just on businesses and their revenue and operations, but a whole city can be taken out, which is crazy.
We've said before, they don't care who they're attacking. They'll just, if they find a way in somewhere, find an open window, they'll go in. One of the comments on that article says, I am curious what kind of support the Minnesota National Guard can provide for IT systems that the FBI and 2 cybersecurity firms can't provide. The too many cooks in the kitchen thing happens more often than people believe. It'd be interesting to know what services the National Guard, being here in the UK, like I was sure recent reports about Donald Trump mobilising the National Guard, I thought the National Guard was like, someone compared it to like a better equipped, more professional version of our territorial army. Like they're largely military, but they're private personnel, trained, that kind of thing. Maybe they're there to support infrastructure. It could be that like traffic lights are down and parking systems are down.
Yeah, seems to be.
There could be like
safety.
Exactly.
Transportation.
If CCTV cameras are down across the city, people might realise that, and then you get looting or all sorts. So, but there's been very little in the news about this story. That's why I thought it was quite interesting, because it's you don't hear about stuff like this all the time over here. Another cyber attack this week was NASCAR. So there's been a NASCAR have confirmed it's notified an undisclosed number of people about a March 2025 data breach. And I'm only reading this now. On April the 3rd, the NASCAR, National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, didn't know it stood for that. They identified and began addressing a security incident that involved unauthorized access to its network between March 31st and April the 3rd. So ransomware gang Medusa claimed responsibility for the breach on April the 8th and demanded $4 million in ransom. And that payment deadline expired on April the 19th. NASCAR haven't verified the claim. It's not known if NASCAR paid the ransom or how many people were compromised. NASCAR, like pretty standard, NASCAR's offering eligible victims 1 year of free credit monitoring and identity theft protection through Experian. So, yeah. Medusa, though, interestingly, first surfaced September 2019. Its leak site debuted in February 2023. And they often use a double extortion approach in which victims are forced to pay both to unlock their systems and for not selling or publishing the stolen data.
Yeah.
It's like, give us some ransom and we'll give you your computers back, but then you have to pay us again if you don't want us to share or publish the stolen data.
Wow, yeah.
So this NASCAR one is Medusa's 5th largest to date. Toyota Financial Services, Bimbo Bakeries, Moneris, and Kenya Airports Authority. Again, don't care who they attack. Anyone they can get in, they will do.
Yeah. So, moving to the next one, which, again, another cyber attack. This is on Orange, France's largest telecoms company. Third-party provider, apparently. is how it was done. So yeah, they announced on Monday after detecting a cyber attack on its internal systems, but there's no evidence apparently that customer orange data has been extracted. But yeah, so it's still an ongoing investigation by the looks of it.
There's not a lot of data on this one, is there? They've said that there's an incident. They've said customers are going to be affected by the response, but they haven't really said much else.
Yeah, I think it said that attackers have accessed documents and identity and contracts, but there's no. I don't think they've said if people have actually been affected by it just yet. I think it's quite a new one.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently it was for a third-party IT provider, which is quite common these days.
Yeah.
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 Over to the next bit of comments, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Let's go into comments quickly. So, had some interesting comments. We posted, I'll tell you what, the strangest videos, it's the strangest videos that do well on social media. So, I shared a video on our most popular topic from last week's episode was the QR codes post on Reddit.
Right.
So we discussed a QR. Someone said that their QR code had expired. And is this a normal thing? So we discussed that Reddit post. 150,000 people viewed that on TikTok last week, which is insane. It was probably the most standard, generic piece of content we've made. The more interesting ones got a few thousand or a few hundred. So, yeah, the QR code one was interesting, but it struck up a really interesting conversation. So we had things like, I almost never use QR codes. They're such an unsafe way to find a site. And then we had, I think expiry should be built into the QR code stand, which is strange. Lots of people saying we don't use QR codes. I don't trust QR codes. Someone didn't get it. Someone said they've never made a QR code in their life. However, why would you not test it before printing out business cards? They clearly didn't watch all the video. An interesting comment from someone said, we're getting dangerously close to running out of QR codes.
Right, okay.
But then one of the most upvoted comments we had was, you can't run out of QR codes. That's like saying we're close to running out of text messages.
Right.
So, yeah. And then someone was like, oh, so you're working for big QR code, are you? So yeah, that kind of wasn't believed. Someone said you can make a QR code in ChatGPT. Someone said you can make a QR code in Excel. So yeah, it's, I think it's interesting. If you want to make a QR code, don't be paying for a service. And like we said last time, make sure it goes directly to the place you want it to go and doesn't go through somewhere else. I think that's the important thing. The most interesting, and I won't go into any more comments, but I posted a bit about Copilot Vision that we spoke about last week. Copilot Vision is where Microsoft's brand new AI Copilot tool that they're trialing takes pictures of your computer screen every few seconds, sends them off to Microsoft to analyze, and then gives you AI tips and tricks and kind of what tells you what you want to do. One comment from Jawn, Jaawn on TikTok said there seems to be a mindset among some of the lead technical people at Microsoft that keeps leading to stuff like this. They're overconfident in their ability to control the data and keep it safe. I have seen some of them in interviews basically roll their eyes about people's reactions to the recall thing. They do not take it seriously, and instead of listening and being thoughtful and considerate and taking the criticism constructively, they're just annoyed and think everyone is dumb but them. They also have a make it first, then worry about making it right later mindset, which seems related. I honestly think they're in trouble if they don't get rid of their mindsets. I think they're probably too big to be in trouble. They're defining the future. You know, Windows and Microsoft ain't going anywhere, let's be honest. I think that's right, though. The make it first and worry about making it right later. I think they probably think they're too big to pop. You know.
Yeah.
we see massive fines trying to be thrown at people like Apple and Google. Microsoft will probably be next with a privacy thing, but
Probably.
it's in the grand scheme of things, how much money do they make? It's
Yeah.
Right. That's the comments. Let's quickly go on some awareness. So this is the part where if you're a cybersecurity professional, you might be interested in this. If you're not a cybersecurity professional, bear with us. The good stuff's right around the corner. So I saw this post on LinkedIn. Oz Alashay from CybSafe, CEO and founder of CybSafe, on LinkedIn, announcing the launch of SebDB version 4.0. We've just released the latest and greatest update to the security behaviours database, SebDB 4.0. I won't lie, we're very proud and excited about what this means for a data-led approach to the management of human risk. SebDB is an open source research initiative, and the latest update maps user security behaviours to risk outcomes, threat actor tactics, intervention strategies, and security frameworks like MITRE ATT&CK and NIST CSF. But it's not just a list of behaviours, it's the semantic infrastructure for understanding and managing cyber risk. Machine usable, evidence-based system built to enable reasoning, measurement, automation, and behavioural insight at scale. So this is a huge thing. Lots of people use SebDB. We do where I am. We never used to where I was. And I remember seeing SebDB version like 0.5 or something. We were a CybSafe customer a long time ago. So this is huge. Everyone in the awareness industry, a lot of leading people, bank on this. It's used by organisations. You don't have to be a CybSafe customer to use SebDB, and there's a community around it as well. So check out SebDB. You can Google SebDB, go to CybSafe, or look at Oz's post on LinkedIn. We'll put obviously a link to that in the show notes.
Yeah, pretty cool. So,
I want to move on to one more thing for awareness professionals this week. A couple of weeks ago, we spoke about KnowBe4's human risk, the maturity model and their maturity assessment. Well, after we'd done that, Jason Hanick reached out to me. Jason used to be at a company called Habituate. He made a successful exit from Habituate. I first spoke with Jason years ago. Well, now, humanrisk.com, of all the people to get humanrisk.com, it would be Jason. That's like the best domain. So many, God knows what that's worth now. He's had it for a while, apparently. But let me just share this tab here. So Jason's created a security awareness maturity model, and he was keen. He said, look, it's kind of a work in progress, right? This isn't a commercial product right now. This is free. So, KnowBe4's was free, but signposts you to a load of KnowBe4 solutions. Okay. Jason's doesn't. Jason's was free. Jason would love the feedback. So if you're interested in looking at this, use it, abuse it, give the constructive feedback to Jason and see how it works. Interestingly, he's got a SEAT framework. So it stands for strategy, engage, assess, train. Structured framework to evaluate and improve your security awareness program based on what actually matters. Is it tied to business risk, not just compliance? So this is the clarity tool for measuring and maturing your awareness program. So, and there's some more details here. Why it exists, why it works, right? You can pick your flavor, NIST or NIST 2. You can answer a few questions, get a maturity score across that SEAT framework, and then you can walk away with a real world action plan, not one that's tied to commercial products from a vendor. That's the angle on this, okay? So you come in, and again, the aesthetics it's a work in progress, right? Don't judge it on the aesthetics. We're here for the content. Now, my first thing on this, first page, what would you select there, Luke?
I
don't really align against my team probably does, but for me as an individual, I like doing this. I wouldn't necessarily know which one to align, or wouldn't really. I just want to align benchmark myself against other awareness programs, I think. Different organizations will be different, but I think there should be a like benchmark myself, not necessarily against all of them, or pick one for me. You know, it's let's go NIST 2. So it tells you straight away, sets an expectation, 8 minutes, 15 questions, 4 areas, receive an overall maturity score. Look, I'm going to whiz through this really quickly because I want to see what the report looks like at the end. And I don't want to assess my own platform in real time. So simple questions, simple answers. Okay. Really, really good. Gives you an expectation of how long you're going to be. And again, excuse the aesthetic. All right. It doesn't always matter. So here's my security maturity score. Okay. Gives me points out of 5, tells me where I am, developing, on track. Some awareness or activity exists, but it's inconsistent or informal. So now I've got steps. I can go to my detailed analysis. There's my organization profile, okay? Small, maturity defined, risk profile, critical. So that's cool. It gives me scores, strategy, engagement, assessment, and training. There's my C scores. If I click next, your program has good fundamentals, focus on consistency and measurement to reach your next maturity level. Now it gives me category analysis. So here, some responses, the responses I've given and the scores. And then some next steps. So Jason's one of the experts in this field, right? He's one of the people that's been talking human risk, well, ever since I've been in the industry, 10 years. So, So yeah, this is cool. And then Jason says, schedule a call with him if you want to talk about it. And I wouldn't be scared about sharing a call with Jason either. Jason's like a really good person. Oh, look, you get a PDF to take away as well. Mm-hmm. Let's see what that looks like. There you go. There's your action plan. There's your PDF. Look, it's not as pretty as the Know Before one, but it also offers you basic awareness activities exist, budget allocation is minimal, inconsistent year over year, multi-channel communication strategy reaches all. This isn't going to point you towards buy PhishER, buy Security Coach. This will give you actionables. Mm. Your program has good fundamentals, focus on consistency and measurement to reach the next maturity level. So have a look at it. Get yourself to humanrisk.com. Have a look at Jason Haynick's maturity model. And if you're going to try it, let us know. Reach out to us at hello@riskycreative.com and let us know what you think. But yeah, it needs a little polish on the aesthetics, but it could be useful and it's free, completely free.
It's always nice to have a free tool.
Tools like this are really good when you need to ask for more resource, ask for more budget to find out if you're on the right track. You know, it all adds to an arsenal of proving your worth. And especially, you know, some people say that cyber budgets are on the up. Other people say that cyber budgets aren't on the up. You know, it's not easy for all businesses out there. So now's the time more than ever that we all need to prove our value and prove our worth. And this is a way that we can do that.
Yeah, that's cool.
I can't believe we've got to 48 minutes in and I haven't mentioned the SANS Awareness Summit. We should have opened the show with this. Maybe I'll preload something to put at the front. So if you've heard this already, I apologise. Yeah, we'll do that. August the 11th and 15th, SANS Security Awareness Summit in Chicago. So the 14th and 15th is the summit. The 11th, 12th and 13th is training. It's at the Palmer House Hilton in Chicago. And it's online. So if you can't make it to Chicago, doesn't matter. It's online. And you get CPEs for attending online, don't you, Luke?
Yeah, you do, yeah.
As Luke's got his SSAP that he needs to renew and needs some CPEs.
Mm-hmm. No, I got mine last summit. But
excellent. He's done.
That's good for those that need it, yeah.
Yeah. So the 2025 summit offers expert-led talks, hands-on workshops, in-depth sessions focused on changing security behaviours, attitudes and cultures. So like, if you can't make it in person, join online. You'll gain actionable insights on workforce engagement, communication, highlights, expert sessions from top practitioners, in-person workshops. Networking's awesome. Like, and if you can't make it in person, there's a whole Slack community spun up around this as well. So the chatter on those Slacks channels is huge during any of these summits. So it's really, really good. You can intro yourself. You can get involved in the conversation. More importantly, we're going to be broadcasting from there. So I'm going to be doing a couple of live streams on the lunchtime on the Thursday and the lunchtime on the Friday. So if you're in the UK, that'll be tea time Thursday, tea time Friday on the 14th and 15th. So I'll be live from the lunch hall right in the middle of a summit, interviews, conversations, giving you the summit experience live on LinkedIn. We'll try and do some Q&As. I'll try and get some interviews in with some of the speakers and some of the leading figures in security awareness. So that's going to be quite exciting. And then in 2 weeks' time, the episode you watch of this, I will be recording from Chicago. Luke will be at home. But I will be in Chicago and recording this. So I'll be able to tell you about how good it is and what's trending, what people care about the most, what's important, and, you know, what's happening in the world of security awareness. On the Friday, there is a bonus session, a free virtual event, the AI threat, protecting your email from AI-generated attacks. That's an interesting one. Learn how Gen AI is powering more convincing email threats and how organizations can defend using AI-driven defenses. Registration for that bonus AI session is free. So we'll put details of that in the newsletter and in the show notes.
That's cool.
Are you going to be attending virtually? Did you get value from it last year? Because you did virtual one last year, didn't you?
Yeah, I joined virtually before. Yeah, that was cool. Obviously, yeah, like you said, Slack's really useful to just talk about what's going on. They had like the live, the sessions streamed live as well, so you can watch most of it as well. And yeah, there's lots of interesting things being discussed there, and helped build up my LinkedIn connections a little bit. That's always good. But this one looks to be even better potentially than before.
Yeah, it's a really strong year, I think, this year. So a lot of the talks are really relevant, which is good.
Yeah.
Right. Let's talk. There's one more thing actually before we get on to a topic I just wanted to mention. This week I met someone called Dan Connolly, and Dan is a security professional. Dan is currently looking for his next role. So I thought it would be really nice to give Dan a shout out. I'm just looking for, why can't I see my posts here on, why can't I see my posts? There they are. Is that working? Here it is. Yes, that's working. Apologies. Bear with me just a second. Right. So look, Dan's an awesome dude. I met Dan this week. So Dan is currently looking for a role. It must be really hard out there if you're looking for a role at the moment. He's submitted more than 50 applications. So he's not someone that just applies and waits. He's like eager, right? This guy is keen. He knows what he's talking about. He's really, really cool. More often it's like, oh, we'll be in touch if it's a good fit. He understands that recruiters are under pressure and can't respond to every applicant, but it does highlight how challenging it is right now to stand out, even when making the extra effort. So look, he's looking for contract roles. He's probably also looking for like perm roles. Like, give Dan a shout, okay? If you've got a vacancy, you need someone to come in. Dan's done awareness. Dan's delivered results across ISO 27001, CE+, and CAF. He's implemented SIEM and PAM, tools such as Logarithm and Delineus. So he knows what he's talking about, okay? If you're looking for someone to come in, help you out, get stuff done, reach out to Dan. You can find him on LinkedIn, Dan Connolly. And I've reposted that. So find me, you can find him. And yeah, let's see if we can get Dan a role. I mean, there's lots of people out there looking for roles at the moment. It's not just Dan, but Dan's a good egg, right? So, yeah, reach out to Dan.
Cool, yeah. Good luck.
Right. I want to talk about something I saw this week, and I saw this mentioned. This has gone a little viral, okay? Well, for me, in my world, I saw someone post about this on LinkedIn, and this was on Reddit from a cybersecurity subreddit. Are my company's phishing tests in bad faith, or am I just an idiot? Long story short, I joined a new company back in March. If you'd have asked me yesterday, I would have told you that this was the perfect job, and I love everything about it. Safe to say, I cannot and do not want to lose my job. So today, having failed 5 of them, however, phishing tests, I was told that if I fail another one, I'm to be immediately terminated. Despite how incredible of an employee or efficient worker I am, I'm devastated. Feels like I'm doomed, given how frequently and well disguised their tests are. So this is the stinger, okay? So let's just... He's been there from March. He's failed for 5 phishing simulations in a row. Here's the details. All of the phishing emails are sent from an official company address, e.g. hr@mycompany.com, with legit branding, legit signature, and legit staff names. He thinks that they use KnowBe4. And this isn't any criticism on KnowBe4, okay? Just clear that up. Hello, KnowBe4. These relate to actual events. So featuring my real paid time off request and saying that I need to click a link to update. They're identical to real emails I've previously received in copy and headlines. The only apparent tell is hovering over the link and supposedly knowing that .com/company paid time off /policy/ blah, 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 blah is fraudulent, whilst www.salesforce.com/blah is fine. And finally, they sent 10 tests in his first month in the job. Probably after he failed 2 in the first week, including 1 on his first day that was disguised as, again, practically identical onboarding emails. He was also new to Outlook and the company, so I had no idea what authentic emails were supposed to look like. Never worked for a company that sends phishing tests before. I can't help but feel completely blindsided. I wasn't even told how serious this was until my 4th fail, and I'm just feeling like such an idiot, whilst also annoyed that these tests seems infinitely trickier than they need to be. Thoughts?
Well, that sounds like an awful setup by the security team at whatever company they work at, and I feel quite bad for them.
Yeah. It's the comments.
10 emails in a month and 1 on your first day sounds insane.
I imagine 1 on your first day that looks like so much to unpack here, right? So much. First day phishing simulation. That's just cruel. Okay, like onboard them, hug them, support them, don't entrap them. First day. They've got no expectation of what good looks like. Okay, so they've never used Outlook before. I made the jump from Gmail, 12 years in Gmail, to Outlook in January, and it's hideous. Okay, especially when you've got Outlook in the browser and Outlook on the Mac client for Outlook are 2 completely different things. They look so different. So that's horrible. I get using the real domain name, but how is someone meant to tell that these aren't legitimate? And what's happened is, I guess they've fallen for 1 or 2. They've found themselves on some like, oh, if you fall for 2, you're going to get more, and then you're going to get more because you're obviously a risk, so we need to train you more. But then if there's been no education or the education is impossible, they're just going to keep falling for them.
Yeah.
So the comments section, someone in the comments questioned whether or not this was genuine or not. There was a comment, I think it might have gone. Someone was here saying like, oh, I don't think this is true. I question whether or not you're telling the truth. I could see it being true. You know, maybe this is the awareness professional running this, you know, thinks it's a good idea. If you're out there, if you know who this is, or you're the person that runs this, or if you're at KnowBe4 and you know who this is and you want to ask them to get in touch with us, can you do that? We'll keep you anonymous. I would love to have a conversation and find out the other side of the coin, right? If you're the awareness professional that's running this, tell me the situation. Tell me what's happening. It would be amazing. The comments, seems ridiculous. 10 phishing emails in a month. Crazy. if they're going to the extreme, you do the same. Don't open any link or attachment in an email unless you DM the sender and verify it's legitimate. Just start reporting any email as being that is ambiguous. See if you can get in writing all the email addresses the company uses. We said that a couple of weeks ago. Who sends me email.com? Yeah. If someone's upset about you not following an email, it's valid to say, sorry, I thought it was a phishing test. Just don't use email. I'm sorry. I know people that say, I don't check my inbox, I use Slack. So maybe that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
It's madness, isn't it? Madness.
That's crazy.
Right. What else did I have? I realise we're running out of time. I want to tell you about how much of this do I want to tell you about? And can any of it wait till next week? I want to tell you this one's not security related, but I'm going to make it security related. Okay. Where I live, they've just changed the way our bins work.
Right.
We used to have 2 bins, well, 3 bins. I didn't have so we had a black bin for rubbish, a blue lidded bin for recycling, and a brown bin if you paid for garden waste. Okay. Now I have 5 bins. So I've gone from 2 dustbins, because I didn't use the brown one, to 5 bins.
Right.
And I've got a short video here that tells you about how the bins have changed. Okay. And I'll get to why this is relevant to security in just a second. Bear with.
Well, this little one is for food waste. That'll be collected every week. You don't want to put your camera anywhere near that. Purple is for general waste, non-recyclables. This blue one, well, that's new. This is for paper and cardboard. This black one here is for all other recycling, such as metal, glass bottles, and soft plastic packaging. These 3 will be collected once every 3 weeks. That is less frequently than this one used to be collected. And that brown one over there is for garden waste, which is collected once a fortnight for those.
So I've got a food waste bin. I've also got another little food waste bin for the kitchen. So there's 2 food waste bins, which is collected. How often was the food waste bin collected? Every week. So I've got a food waste bin collected every week. I've got 2 bins that are collected every 3 weeks. And I've got another bin that's collected every 2 weeks. And that's gone from, I had 1 bin collected 1 week, 1 bin collected the other week, 1 bin collected 1 week, 1 bin collected the other week.
Nice and easy.
Nice and easy, right? Simple control, simple instructions. Now I've got 5 bins, 1 collected every week, 1 collected every 2 weeks, 2 collected every 3 weeks. That is a control. How is the user meant to get that right now? This is how it's relevant. Okay. This is too much. This isn't simple enough. If this was a security control, people are going to break it. People are going to just get it wrong. People are going to find a way around it. This isn't good user experience at all. There's been uproar, like Facebook groups and stuff. People just can't get their head around it. And it just feels like someone's put a security control in place that's way too complicated. Without any, it's been communicated really badly. That's why we're here as awareness professionals, to make sure this is communicated properly. We have a letter that said our final black bin collection will be on the 31st. And then on the 29th, we received a letter saying our final black bin collection was the 28th.
Okay.
And like the day before the letter. Yeah. So new bins, let this be a lesson in keeping things simple. And if you make it too complicated, you need to make sure people are brought on that journey properly. And we haven't been, and it's too complicated, and it's going to break. We're going to forget to put the bins out. The controls are going to break. You know, this isn't, if this was security, it would be flawed. Okay. That's where the bins are relevant. I could probably have communicated that better, but I hope you get what I want.
Yeah.
And I needed to get my bin hate off my chest as well. So there we go. I've got some other stuff, but we're running out of time tonight, and we don't want to do an hour and a half. So we'll bump that till next time. Luke, you've got a topic for us to talk about this week as well.
Yeah, it's just a TikTok I saw to finish up on, I think. If you could share it on screen. It's just interesting, sort of relevant in terms of you could kind of think it of being like a encryption, cryptography type thing with like secure messaging, I guess. But you can play the video and we can just be amazed by it, hopefully.
Here we go. Hang on, let me turn the sound on. How do I turn the sound on? How do I work this thing? I'm too old for TikTok.
Whoa, hold on. This can't be real. Somebody just used a bird as a storage device. I'm not kidding. That someone is Ben Jordan. Please check out this video. It is so cool. So here's what he did. He drew a picture of a bird in a spectral synthesizer and kept playing it back to a starling. Later, when going through a spectrogram of the recordings he made of this bird, he found the picture again. It was in the recordings.
File that I played for it. Original starling recreation.
Of course, this isn't going to be a realistic way of storing and transmitting data, but it illustrates how incredibly skilled these birds are at processing and mimicking sounds that are played to them. I mean, the fact that they didn't just recreate something that sounds similar, you can actually recognize the picture in the visualization of the audio. It's incredible.
So wow, hang on. So he drew an image and turned that into a sound using a spectrometer or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Played that to birds, and then the starlings replied with that same sound. And when he looked at the spectrometer of that sound, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's quite a mind-blowing thing, really. Sort of, thought about it's almost like a way of transmitting data in a potentially most secure way.
Audio encryption, yeah, that's
sort of similar. I mean, not quite similar, but obviously birds were used in World War I and II to transmit messages and stuff. But this was using,
I thought they were tied around their ankles.
Yeah, so like physical messages, but obviously in this case, they're actually speaking it.
That's I mean, imagine if you could train a bird to mimic wow.
This was cool.
I think that is cool.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, maybe I'm thinking out the box now. Imagine you could map a message in a sound like that, but you played it back at a frequency that a human ear couldn't hear.
Yeah.
But you can pick it up. So you're communicating in audio, but it can only be detected by, it's probably a thing already.
Probably,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm probably showing myself up now. If anyone's still listening, we're talking about sound. So yeah. Right. I think that's about it. There was one last thing I was gonna. This is a little teaser for something that might be coming up soon. I haven't heard back from them, but out of stealth this week emerged a brand new security company, brand new human risk company called Fable. So it's come from some people that were previously Abnormal, were a really interesting product. Abnormal, they've done some cool things. Fablesecurity.com, another new vendor in this space, which is exciting. Okay, we're seeing some AI stuff, some agentic stuff. So I haven't looked at it yet. I've reached out to Fable. I'm going to have a look at the product. But it's they claim it's agentic solutions that actually work, bite-sized, interventions. Let me just give you. It's going to be interesting to see where the new players in this field come to.
Yeah, I heard about this somewhere. Maybe I saw it on LinkedIn or something.
It's received so much funding, and there's been a lot of buzz around it, which is quite cool.
It wasn't always like this.
Good use of Daft Punk.
Things feel safe, secure.
Is this human receivable?
But before, we gave attackers our passwords. We clicked weird links. Many fell. Emails from accounting looked convincing.
That's not our logo.
But we resist. We overcome.
You're not even real!
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
We fight back. Now there's a better way. Fable transforms your staff into your front line. cybersecurity from Jim and Receivables.
I don't know what I'm seeing there that's different. It doesn't. I mean, it's very high level. It's very American.
It's quite flashy.
It's quite flashy. Is Jim in Receivables a real person, or is Jim AI? That's what I don't know. Jim's never on the screen for long. Jim could be a very good AI, or Jim could be a real person. I don't know. But yeah, Fable, lots of investment. Looks cool. Someone else, I'm going to find out what they bring that is different. They've got how to spot deep fakes, combat modern phishing, minimize SOC burden. You know, they're saying all the right things. So, and they've just this week come out of stealth. So, which is like, you know, before they go public and on the market. So it's going to be good. We'll find out. I'll find out. So yeah, we'll talk to them. If they're at Black Hat this week as well, which is in the States, and yeah, I've never been, but it's meant to be fun. So
cool. Yeah,
have fun at Black Hat. Whoever's there. Right, that really is all we've got time for tonight. So, thank you, Luke, for another interesting week. Goodbye to the studio, probably, unless I don't move house. Hopefully that doesn't fall through. So, yes.
Cool. Yeah, hopefully goes smoothly.
I'll be coming to you next week from slightly less quality video, but hopefully just as good audio. And then the week after that, I'll be at Sands. So if you are going to be in Chicago, come and say hi. We'll get you on video. We'll get you on, have a chat. It'd be amazing. Right.
Cool.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube. Don't forget to sign up to the newsletter. And don't forget to follow wherever you get your podcasts. So every time a new episode drops, you find out. And listen to Harley and me talk about human risk. Right.
Awesome. Catch you next week.
I will see you next week.
Oh, thank you. Bye.
See you later. Bye.